right, let's try that again. Good evening, folks. I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith here.
And I'm student meteorologist Jennifer Collins. And you doing good, Dylan?
I'm doing perfect. Conditions are great today. Honestly, it felt really nice outside.
Yeah.
Spring-like conditions, as you said.
Yes, we're starting to get into spring-like conditions. The temperatures are starting to warm up a little bit. We're going to get into the 70s for the rest of this week, so it's going to be pretty nice.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you can wear jeans if you want. You can wear shorts. You can wear a jacket. You don't have to wear a jacket. Honestly, you can do whatever you want. It's like this middle period of spring is a good way to...
It's kind of like an uncertain time. Like, you don't know whether you should wear a sweater to class and then, like, get freezing cold once you walk into the building with the AC.
Right, yeah, you know, if your class is in a big classroom, sometimes you might need that sweater because it's just too cold out there in the classrooms.
Yes, and for the rest of the show, actually, we're going to talk to you about the other areas of this country actually are in winter storm conditions. Areas like California are actually going to experience winter weather for the rest of this week. And we're also going to talk about
fog. We're going to talk about fog. I mean, we woke up to fog this morning.
Yes.
I don't know if you folks saw it. There's a lot of fog going on. And we'll explain why the fog is occurring and different types of fog later on the show.
Yes, but with that, we're actually going to talk a little bit about spring-like conditions.
Yeah, spring-like
Heading
conditions.
into the rest of this,
70s?
we're going to see a lot warmer conditions, especially in the southeast heading into the rest of February. But
not spring in the sense that we're going to get rained on all the time.
Yes.
Fortunately, it's spring in a comfortable sense.
We're actually going to send things over to Colleen. She's going to give us a look at what's going to happen throughout the show today.
Thanks, guys. Yes, for the first time, I was able to leave my jacket at home on the way to class. Currently, we're still pretty hot out there at 60 degrees, partly cloudy skies, but it's just looking beautiful out there. You see the orange painting in the sunrise in the background. Currently, 68 in Tallahassee. Perry seeing some sunny skies at 64 degrees. Mid to upper 60s across the whole Big Bend region. Now, not a whole lot going on, but there are some clouds out there as we head further to the coast. East, it's pretty clear all the way to I-75. Tonight, you should expect not temperatures in the 40s, but the 50s. We have 54 in Tallahassee, 54 in St. Mark's. We do have partly cloudy skies, and another thing, that fog will be in the forecast in the morning as the conditions are set up for it. At noon, 68, and tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day, maybe a few clouds, but mostly sunny skies. Now, Sloan, what's going on around the southeast?
Yeah, it's not just us who's been feeling like springtime out here. Throughout much of the southeast, our temperatures have stuck to the 60s and 70s. We've had cloud cover throughout much of the region with a few showers that we've seen down there in Apalachicola, but other than that, it's been a beautiful day for the southeast. Dew points are back to feeling muggy. I don't know if you walked outside today and felt a bit humid as you were walking to class, but our surrounding states felt that as well. But Charleston, unfortunately, did not. They're still dry, so they weren't as muggy as we were today. Dew points are sticking around the 50s and 60s, though, so that's bringing us into that spring-type weather. We have this disturbance right down here south of Louisiana and making its way towards the western part of Florida. Not a lot of rain associated with it. The showers are occurring south of New Orleans that we can see right here. Most of them are offshore, but at the bigger picture, these clouds are lingering throughout much of the region. Taking a look at the upper level water vapor, we see the direction that these storms are moving, and we do see that dry air right above it right there as well. If surface winds, we have that high pressure system dominating much of our region right now, but going to the next few days, we're going to see it move east towards the Atlantic, opening us up for a few more showers and precipitation in our area. The forecast, though, we do see into tonight, these clouds are lingering for much of the southeast. That morning fog is in effect again tomorrow. So if you're driving around any regions here, be sure to take extra precautions as fog can just appear in areas that you might not expect it to. But this is again due to a lot of that moisture we've been seeing in the southeast as this high pressure we do see here tomorrow morning is moving east towards Jacksonville, causing them to be drier and have clearer conditions. If we take a look at Florida, partly cloudy for the rest of the state. Not a lot is happening there. They're not going to experience any showers going into tomorrow, but the Panhandle will have a few in the forecast. By tomorrow night, about 24 hours from now to be exact, we will see these showers popping up sporadically along the southeast, but not a lot is happening. It's just a good idea to keep that umbrella on hand. watches and warnings, we do have that dense fog advisory out right now, and that's expected to continue again into the morning, as we saw as fog is in the picture. For tonight, temperatures are different than what we saw last week with those lows in the 30s and 40s. Lows tonight are in the 50s and 60s. We see the rain making its way over as those storms in New Orleans are expected to linger into the evening. And then Florida, cloudy conditions as well, but in the 50s, which is very nice. For tomorrow, temperatures are in the 70s, causing us to feel like spring. We do see temperatures returning back to those mid-70s. And now I'm going to pass things off to Jennifer, actually, sorry Jennifer, to take a look at Tallahassee.
Thank you, Sloan. And as we take a look what's going on here across Tallahassee, we're looking at beautiful sunset, beautiful way to end out the day today. Partly cloudy skies, that temperature is sitting around 68 degrees. It's just the end to a beautiful Monday with that westerly wind. It is bringing a little bit more moisture for us, but ending up the day across the Big Bend region, looking at temperatures in the 60s for most of the area, 64 degrees for Perry, as well as 68 degrees for Bainbridge and 60 degrees for Apalachicola. So overall, just a beautiful way to end out the day with the clear skies, partly cloudy in some areas, but overall, the dew points are a bit higher, so it does feel a little bit more muggy with that westerly wind as well. We're having dew points in the mid-50s, so it does feel quite humid when you walk outside, but it's perfect to end out this day. With the winds coming in from the south and west, we're going to see calm winds for the remainder of the day, and this is going to impact tomorrow morning. As with these calmer winds, we can expect fog to develop across most of the region, so that is something to look into for tomorrow morning with with the calmer winds as well. So for tomorrow morning, 54 degrees. It's going to be a mild one, but expect the fog in most patchy to a dense fog in some areas. Denser fogs will be more towards the west of the Big Bend region. With these calmer winds, we can expect the fog in most of the areas. Temperatures around 54 degrees. Across the region, 50 degrees for tonight, 52 degrees for Thomasville, as well as 52 in Perry. We're going to keep with the overcast, partly cloudy skies for the early early overnight hours. However, as we get into tomorrow morning, we can expect the fog to develop across most of the day, and we're also going to have a lot more cloudy conditions heading throughout the rest of the day. So as we look into tomorrow's forecast, cloudy, no rain expected for tonight's forecast as we get into the early morning hours. But by tomorrow morning, expect the clouds to develop as well as the early morning fog as well. So when you're commuting to work, make sure you take this into consideration heading into work tomorrow. Keep those low beam lights on heading throughout the fog as well. And by tomorrow afternoon, we expect the clouds to linger across for most of the day. We could see a ray of sunshine here and there, but mostly cloudy for the Big Bend region. For tomorrow afternoon, 74 degrees. We're keeping mostly cloudy conditions. With that southerly wind, it is going to stay a bit more humid, especially heading into the rest of this week. 7 a.m. when you wake up tomorrow morning, fog in the picture with those temperatures around 56 degrees. By noon, we're going to expect things to heat up quite a bit. Maybe the fog will start to dissipate as we get into the noon hours, about 68 degrees. And in the afternoon, we're going to expect the sun to appear here and there, but 72 degrees for the afternoon. It is going to be a bit of a warm one. Tomorrow's forecast, 74 degrees for Thomasville, as well as 74 degrees here in Tallahassee. And looking at your 7-day forecast, expecting fog in the picture for tomorrow morning, but temperatures rise again as we head into hump day. 77 degrees for Wednesday and Thursday. Our next rain chances aren't until Friday with that 20% chance of rain. I'm going to send things back over to Colleen and Dylan.
As Jennifer said, there is a risk for fog in our region as we go into tomorrow morning. So we're going to talk to you about the 5 different types of fog and how they form and what locations they mainly affect.
Yeah, the first type of fog is radiational fog. That's what we usually see here in Tallahassee. It's usually right before the sun rises. It's in the morning. You get the cooling from the radiational cooling at night, heating the air above it, or cooling off the air above it, sorry, and causing fog to condense.
Yes, clear skies, and this mainly occurs around bodies of water or sheltered valleys.
Yeah, the other type of fog, the one that we're experiencing here and a lot of the southeast is experiencing, we saw Sloan talk about the dense fog advisory out in Louisiana. That's due to advection fog, and you have that high pressure system forcing moisture over a cooler surface, which is the country, and the warm air is able to cool off when it gets into the cooler environments, and then you have fog.
Yeah, exactly. And the third type of fog that we're experiencing, well, not us, but the valley fog, that's when cold air settles into the lower parts of the valley.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't really have valleys here.
No, yeah, not here.
So we don't get to experience valley fog that often. But it is an interesting type. The other type that's possible, kind of localized, which localized means it's more concentrated in small areas, is upslope fog.
Yeah, now that it cools as it rises.
Yeah, you get the wind pushing some moisture up the mountain, and it the warm air up the mountain, and it cools as it rises.
So mainly the locations alongside the
Right.
mountain ranges
Right,
sees
exactly.
the upslope fog.
Yeah, and the final type of fog is evaporation fog. Usually in the winter, it is again very localized, so small areas see it. And where you can see an example. It's an example of it that we see usually a lot.
Oh, that's when cold air moves over a warm surface. So evaporation fog occurs mainly by bodies of water.
Yeah, like you can see it in the pool. I don't know if you've ever been out in the pool, like in the summer in like the northern part of the country, we have a warm pool that's heated and then cool air blowing on top of it. So
Exactly, especially around lakes or big bodies of water.
yeah, definitely. I mean, we saw heat fog. It was more of a advection fog we saw the other day over in the Northeast, where they had steam kind of coming up from the Great Lakes. It was crazy. We had the video on the show a couple days ago.
There's a lot of cool videos of fog, especially out in San Francisco and all those areas. Well, now we're going to take it on over to Jennifer.
Thank you, guys. And as we talk about what's going on around the country, we have a range of temperatures right now across the United States. -5 degrees in North Dakota compared to the 70s in Texas. So we're looking at a wide range of temperatures across the region. Spring-like conditions across the southeast, but as we get on towards the north, we're starting to see some negatives up on the map across the area. And that's because dew points are a bit higher across the southeast, as we do have a southerly flow bringing a lot more moisture for those regions. And then also with the polar air bringing in a lot drier conditions for the northern half of the country. So we're seeing a wide range of conditions across most of the United States, but overall it is staying quite dry across most of the southern portion of the United States. Areas like New Orleans, though, have seen some storms throughout most of the afternoon. We are seeing snow across most of the northern areas of the United States, some mixed precipitation heading on into Canada, but mainly just rain heading on into the northeast for most of those areas. But we do have a low pressure system that is making its way onto the western coast of the United States. It's bringing a lot of precipitation across areas of California. We're even seeing mixture of precipitations for those areas. As we look at the northeast, we're actually seeing some winter-like conditions across most of the southern portions of Canada. However, areas like Minnesota heading on into New York, we are going to expect this rain to move on into the New England area, giving a lot more rain for those areas as well. Taking a look at the satellite radar for the western portions of the United States, areas like Las Vegas are actually seeing some mix. In the higher elevations, they're seeing snow. However, most of the area is seeing a lot of rain in the forecast. However, California is just seeing a lot of precipitation associated with the slow pressure system that's moving on. We actually see a lot of winter weather happening in the higher elevations, whereas more towards the coast we're seeing mixed precipitation as well as just rain for those areas. We do have a blizzard warning in effect right now for the higher elevations of California, mainly and on the border of California and Nevada. These aren't pushing on to Nevada, but we are seeing a blizzard warning for those areas, and also winter weather advisories for most of the California and also Nevada areas. Winter weather advisory as well as winter storm warnings, and also a freeze watch in effect for Southern California, for portions of Central and Southern California as well. With this freeze watch, we can expect temperatures to dip below freezing for most of the area. The storm outlook, expect a marginal risk. This is for Wednesday, not for tomorrow. For Wednesday, we are expecting a marginal risk for the center portions of the United States, so that is something to look into as we get into Wednesday. For tonight, it's going to be a chilly one for the northern portions of the United States. -6 for Billings, Montana, as well as 3 degrees for Minneapolis. They are going to see a heat up as we get into the rest of this week. And for tomorrow's forecast, expecting partly cloudy skies for the northeastern United States. The southeast looking at temperatures in the 70s, but 0 degrees right there in Billings, Montana. They're going to stay fairly cold heading into tomorrow with that snow. I'm going to pass things off to Dylan for a look at the local.
Thanks, Jennifer. And you know where we don't have 0 degrees? Here in Tallahassee. Unfortunately, it's not that cold. It's 68 degrees, warmer than freeze at 0 degrees, 68 degrees outside. Slight wind, though. Beautiful sunset behind me. If you check out our Twitter, great picture there from the weather stem camera that's looking out over Doak Campbell Stadium right now. Gorgeous conditions over the stadium. And throughout much of the region, too, you're seeing calm conditions, only a bit of showers over in Apalachicola, but they're relatively cooler on the coast. Over on the eastern parts of the counties, a little bit of clouds over in Valdosta. Clear skies, though, in Perry at 64 degrees. Comfortable, great conditions, and it's expected to be comfortable throughout the day. And these dew points, look at the green, that means good. It's good outside. We're in this comfortable, in between a little too moist and a little too dry. We're in this Goldilocks space where it's feeling nice and comfortable outside with upper 50s dew points. So great conditions out there, not going to have to worry about the chapstick. And a lot of this moisture is due to the southerly flow off the Gulf that's bringing in moisture and that fog. So it's a double-edged sword. You might have comfortable conditions where it's not too dry, but you have the possibility of fog because we have a little bit too much moisture in the morning, but only a slight breeze, nothing too bad in terms of that. For the forecast, though, we see clear conditions on the eastern counties. The western counties, though, are seeing some cloudy conditions, but you are expected to wake up with fog throughout much of this region. Farther west you go as it pushes the winds from the southeast instead of directly south. So you have clear skies on the eastern parts, a bit clouds, but then as you get throughout the day tomorrow, you see the chance of rain coming back into the forecast, and you start to see the clouds kind of engulf a lot of the eastern parts too, but still relatively confined to the western counties in our area. Not too bad of a day. And as we have your morning forecast, you have some conditions. You're going to wake up to a bit of fog, as we've said so many times on this show. Mild conditions, not a bad wind, and that's allowing the fog to stay in place, not blowing it out of the way. But 54 degrees waking up, that's not too bad after the last couple of weeks we've seen here where it's been freezing when you wake up and you have some ice on your car. Your car might be sweating tomorrow morning, though. You see that moisture. It's not actually sweating. It just looks like it's sweating. But you have a lot of moisture throughout the car. Forecast for tomorrow throughout much of the region, possibility of showers only getting to the mid-70s, so not too bad. Apalachicola, though, the coolest spot because it's getting the southerly breeze to cool it off. Down on the coast at 64 degrees. And as we get into your day planner, waking up, cool conditions at 56, and then by the afternoon, 72 degrees. So a comfortable day. Might need the jacket in the morning, but really you don't need it in the afternoon. And as we look at your week ahead, you have the foggy conditions and then clouds sticking around throughout much of the week as well. You get the rain chances come back into the forecast on Friday with a 20% chance of rain and a bit of a cool off there too, dropping back down into the 40s for our lows and our high dropping into the 60s on Saturday. But now I'm going to send it over to the desk to talk about the really cold conditions that the winter storm is bringing. Sloan and Jennifer?
Yeah, exactly. This past week, or last week rather, the Midwest and the West Coast saw these really cold, below average temperatures. And then this week, there doesn't seem to be any relief in sight as one of the coldest winter storms they've ever had is coming through their area.
Yes, and when we were looking at the national temperatures, we saw temperatures in negatives for most of the northern portion of the United States, and they're actually going to see a lot of winter weather as multiple feet of snow, and actually areas of the West as well are going to see a lot of winter weather. Areas like California, even heading on into Nevada, can expect a lot of snow, especially in the Sierra Nevadas.
And then a lot of snow has fallen at lower elevations, which is something that they're not typically used to. Seattle normally is known for their rain, not their snow. And they've had snowfall. It's about 9 inches was the most they've seen, but they had 3 inches of snow at the airport as of this afternoon. So that's still a lot of snow for them.
Yes, so in California with the heavy winds and strong winds and heavy snowfall, we can expect blizzard conditions in some of the higher elevations as well. And also, like you said, snow is falling at lower elevations, but also as this snow starts to melt, we could expect some possibilities of mudslides as well as the snow starts to melt, especially in areas that were affected by fires recently.
Yep, a major concern with that is if it's not snow that's falling and it ends up being rain, that it can cause landslides and it can cause some flash flooding in areas that did have those burns earlier this winter and in the fall. Yes,
the National Weather Service has issued a lot of winter weather advisories heading from areas of the Rockies, even on west towards Seattle, even in south as Southern California. So this is a pretty intense low pressure system that's moving onto the western coast of the United States.
And it's expected to bring snow to the Midwest and the plains as well. Meteorologists at the Weather Channel and the National Weather Service are saying that anywhere north of the frontal boundary will experience either freezing rain, ice, sleet, or they'll experience snow. So that's another condition that we have to look out for these next few days.
Yes, as this cold front moves on through the country, expect mixed precipitation for most of the United States, and that includes ice, snow, even freezing rain as well. So with that, we're actually going to send things back over for a warmer look at the weather with Colleen at Around Florida.
Yeah, it might be snowing elsewhere, but definitely not in Florida, as we have 70 degrees across the board. As we get further south, 74 in Miami. Further up the coast, 63 in Jacksonville, still keeping it pretty hot in Tallahassee at 68. Now, the thing about these temperatures, it's not that miserable hot weather yet that we experience in summer, because we do have a little bit cooler air and a little bit moist out there, as we have the mid 50s for the dew point across the region. Now, satellite and radar, not a whole lot going on as we go south. Pretty beautiful down there. I wish I could transport myself down to those clear skies, but as we go into the temperatures, 77 tomorrow with beautiful conditions across all the way from West Palm Beach to Homestead. Now, Key West is supposed to be beautiful at 74 degrees for tomorrow. Now, as we take a closer look as what's going on in the Panhandle, we do have a slight shower that's moving its way out of Panama City, but as we get further into Pensacola and Mobile, they're experiencing a few coastal showers, but do not expect this to develop anything inland, so we don't have to worry about that for our area. Tomorrow's forecast, the further west you go, the more chances of clouds and thunderstorms as that high pressure is moving eastward. That's why most of Florida should experience clear, sunny skies tomorrow with a few clouds in the forecast. Panama City 67, 71 in Mariana, 64 in Destin for tomorrow's forecast. Now look at the satellite and radar. We do have that morning fog in effect, so make sure to get a little extra time for your morning commute tomorrow from Tallahassee all the way to Pensacola and even Louisiana. But as we get further east, you shouldn't expect fog from Jacksonville to Orlando, as that high pressure is sitting off the coast. Now, as we go further into Wednesday morning, we do expect partly cloudy skies because we're still a little bit moist out there with that upper level not sticking around. Now we do have partly cloudy skies as we go into tonight's forecast. 54 degrees. We're not going to be in the 40s, and actually Pensacola does keeping it a little bit hotter at 62 for tonight. Jacksonville 47, and as we go further down the coast, 62 and 60s for tonight's forecast. Now we do have partly cloudy skies across the whole region. Now I'm going to take it on over to Sloan for another look at our local.
Yeah, it's been a beautiful day here in Tallahassee, a bit muggier than what we've been seeing as of lately. Partly cloudy conditions. Expect these clouds, though, to linger into the evening as well, and we have light winds at about 6 miles per hour from the west-southwest. Current conditions through much of the Big Bend region. We do see that we have these spring-like temperatures everywhere in the 60s. Earlier today, we were a bit higher than this, but clouds are lingering in Valdosta, Tallahassee, and Apalachicola. Those clouds are here in the picture, and these temperatures are sticking around the lower 60s, but they're sort of increasing towards Tallahassee, but then decreasing towards the coast as well, because they have those winds coming onshore, as we'll see in a bit. Dew points, it's been very, very humid outside today. I'm just saying that because it's been more humid than what we've been seeing lately. Walking to class today, it did feel a bit gross outside, but these dew points are expected to begin to stay in this range again as we move into the next season. Surface winds is where we have onshore winds down here in Apalachicola, which is cooling them off a bit there, and then winds moving onshore again at St. Mark's and south of Perry, but you can see this clockwise rotation from that high pressure system that is sitting over us right now, which has caused us to be dry these past few days. Into tonight, we do see that there's no rain expected again into the evening, but as I said earlier, these clouds are lingering. It's still the night to go out and do something, but nothing should get in your way of your plans this evening. Into tomorrow morning, we see the clouds are still in the picture, and early morning fog is the biggest hazard we have for tomorrow. So if you're going to be driving out around Tallahassee or anywhere in the Big Bend region, really, you're going to experience some fog at one point or another. So just be cautious and take those extra precautions driving through these areas. Into the afternoon, we see the clouds starting to clear up a bit, but it's still mostly cloudy for much of the Big Bend region. They're staying in the picture because we're going to have rain chances coming through the next few days as that high pressure begins to move east into the Atlantic. For tomorrow morning, again, mild and foggy. That's the biggest story right now. Dylan and Colleen did a huge segment on it due to the significance of this hazard right now. 54 degrees in the morning, which is much different than being in the 30s and 40s, which is what we've seen these past few weeks when we wake up. You can expect your winds to be very calm, so not a windy day. And then tonight, clouds are staying in the picture for the whole region. 54s, 50s, that's again a different story than what we've been seeing these past few weeks of the winter as we move into spring. Our temperatures are increasing into the 70s, mid-70s, and later this week higher than 75 degrees, which is the hottest, warmest temperature we're seeing right now on the map, but we do see these clouds lingering into tomorrow. Waking up tomorrow, 56 degrees with a lot of fog, clouds still lingering, the sun coming out there at 4 o'clock, about 73 degrees then. For the next 7 days, you see the temperatures are increasing as rain chances increase on Friday to 20% and then 64 on Saturday, but rain chances increasing again Sunday as well as those temperatures. For now, I'm going to pass things to Colleen and Dylan.
Thank you very much, Sloan. And another way to describe pleasant, as it is outside, I looked it up, is nice as a pie. Michael likes the food puns, so I figured I'd say nice as a pie. I really don't know what that means. I mean, I know what it's trying to say. It's pleasant, but I mean, I don't get it.
Personally, I would say nice as a cake. I'm all for cake over pie.
I mean, nice as a brownie. Let's just say nice as a type of fruit. Similes with food and sweets, nonetheless.
I love food so much, and puns when it comes to weather.
Yeah, but great conditions throughout the week. The only day it gets below 70 as a high, Saturday, and it's a nice day. You go hiking, enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah, maybe that's because a slight front will move its way through. Maybe drop the temperatures a little bit, like we're talking slightly. But yeah, it's 77. I'm so excited. I'm tired of the cold.
Honestly, for me, 77 is a tad too warm at this point.
Warm? Yeah.
At this point in the year, I mean, we're only in February, and I'm from South Florida, so I hate the warm conditions. I need some cool relief for a little bit.
Yeah, I need a tan.
I mean, you're not going to get a tan.
I'm born and raised in Florida, so I'm looking for these 70 degrees temperatures.
Well, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get a tan with cloudy skies throughout the week. Luckily, though, only 20% chance of rain across the board.
Yeah,
not across the board, but
maybe I'll catch the windows of the sunshine popping through if I'm not in class all day, which
yeah.
Wednesday and Thursday,
Yeah, no. But again, great conditions. Great activities you can do outside this year. Not warm enough, though, to go out. Maybe go out to the beach, but not get in the water. It's still a little cold and a little chilly to go in the water. Yeah. Go out to the res, look around, go on a hike, maybe. Honestly,
perfect for canoeing.
Perfect for canoeing, not getting in the water.
No, no. I love kayaking.
Kayaking,
It's been a while since I've gone out on the water at the res.
Yeah,
it's a great thing that we have here at Florida State.
Yeah, definitely. But if you want to follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter. Well, I just said that twice. Twitter.com/FSU Weather.
And follow us on Facebook/FSU Weather.
You can watch us live on YouTube or our old broadcasts that are also being broadcasted there right now.
I know you guys want to rewatch the show because it's that good. So
look, if you missed any of the forecast or anything we talked about, the different types of fogs, and you want to go back in the show, you can do that. The power's in your hands.
The power of knowledge is in your hands.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about fog, rewatch our show.
Yeah, but for all of us here at FSU Weather, I'm gone dark, and I'm going to keep talking until we figure out what happened. But I'm not on the screen anymore, if you can hear my voice, Colleen.
Yes, well, have a good night, guys. I'm student meteorologist Colleen Peterson.
Dylan.